While I was in middle school, my mother had a job. She worked in a dental clinic at Howard University. Unfortunately, and fortunately at the same time, it was within walking distance of my school. And I caused my mother to have to walk more than once or twice to find out what problem I had caused in school. Now, I worked hard. I was a strong student. And that was to be my armor, that they couldn't easily kick me out because I was a poor student. My mother visited a lot. Well, more than any other parents, probably, when I say a lot. Um, One day, my god brother, who's the son of the school person who helped my mother get me into the school in the first place, my god brother said, "Hey, Arch." "Yeah, Tony, what's up? You ready for the big test?" "What are you talking about?" "The big test, man, you know." I says, "We don't have the same classrooms. We don't have the same tests." He said, "No, the guy is coming down from Phillips Academy in New England, and he's going to give a test to some of us. And if we do on the test, we might get scholarships to go off to prep school." What? The students with good grades were informed and invited to this test. And somehow I didn't happen to be on the list, even though my grades were as good as anybody's who were on the list. I got really excited. I got really upset. You're not supposed to leave school. I immediately took off, left school, went to the nearest store where I could find a payphone and call my mom. And I said, "Mom, this is important. I got to tell you something." "Where are you?" "In a store outside of school." "Why are you out of school?" "Tony told me that all the kids with good grades were invited to take a test that might wind up with scholarships to prep schools in New England." "What?" "You got to come here. Mom, this is really important, really important." And she says, "Boy, is this some kind of game or trick?" "No, Mom, serious, serious. Come, come, come." And she came. And when she went to the principal, she was sent to the guidance counselor's office. And I said, "Mom, I'm going with you because sometimes they don't tell the truth around here." So we went and talked to the guidance counselor, and she informed my mother of previous visits that she had to make. And my mother always clarified to make sure that probably he shouldn't have said what he said in General Assembly. I agree he should have taken offline, and I think we made him understand that. And he should have used this, shouldn't have used that word instead of this word. And yeah, he's been a problem for you. Deportment. And besides that, he was a troublemaker in grade school. And then finally she got around to Lester was not invited to take the test because if he were admitted to an all-white school, his behavior would probably cause him not to ever invite another black person in the future. Matt, you can't tell anybody that. You can't tell anybody's mother that. He is such a problem that he will fulfill expectations that white people have about blacks. And they said, knew it, I knew it, we'll never have another one here. She believed that. I had convinced them of that. My mother was so upset. She said, what you've told me has me so upset. I can't speak to you any longer. I'll have to leave now and return tomorrow. And tomorrow's meeting, my mother started off with, several things that you said, Mrs. Gaines, don't seem to be true. For instance, I talked to Theodore Miles, and he's, very active on the Board of Education and very well respected black in the community, because he attended NYU and got his PhD and in philosophy or whatever, and he's Phi Beta Kappa, and so he's a educational heavyweight in the black community, right? And he said deportment problems don't get transferred from grammar school to middle school. Before my mother could finish the next thing she was going to say, said, you know Theodore Miles? My mother says, he's Lester's godfather. All problems vaporized. The guidance counselor, said, we didn't know Lester was connected. She didn't say that, but her demeanor said it loudly and clearly. We wouldn't be having this conversation if we had known that Lester was connected. And Theodore Miles is his godfather. All problems went away. They found out somehow that I can now take the test with the other students. And I only knew because it was my godbrother who was taking the test and assumed I was taking the test, because our parents told us we were both bright young men who were going to amount to something.